All right, mga Kanoy Peak, day 2. We're on New York. Waiting for New York session. Makikita nyo naman dito sa oras ko. Sa PC, it's 8:26 a.m. and this is Central Time. This is equivalent to 9:26 Eastern. Nakapag-trade ako kanina sa sa UK Open. Ito yung nangyari. Nagkamali ako ng paso. So, I lost $60 from it. Tapos, nakapag-entry ako on the right price. Tapos, nakatipi ako doon ng $141.21. So, my total realized PNL is at 184.70. Ngayon, iniintay ko na lang na mag-market open para sa US 30 at saka SPX 500. Normally, ang ginagawa ko dito, which I'll show you, pupunta muna ako sa daily chart just to see, plot any levels that are a bit near. Sa nakikita ko naman, wala except for this. I mean, meron, pero this is probably the nearest. Tapos, I also want to call the top, which is ito. So, this analysis, hindi naman siya sobrang tagal. After nyan, I'll go to the 4-hour chart to see what my range are. So, makikita natin yan. It's a good range. Just calling the bottom and the top, right? Fundamentally, bullish pa rin naman ako sa S&P 500. Then, let's do the same lang sa US 30. Burahin ko lang yung mga drawings ko dyan. And then, dito, madali-dali. So, I'll just draw a line in here. Technically, at the bottom or top of the wick, ito medyo mas strong to for me. And then, I'll just go at the top. Nasa all-time highs kasi itong mga to itong mga assets na to. I'll go to the 4-hour chart and then make my adjustments here. Right there. So that's my range. And then I'll go back to the 5-minute time frame. Kasi dito tayo mag-iintay ng 8:30. Mapapansin nyo, kung makikita nyo to, alam ko medyo malabo. Pero may mga maliliit na lines dyan, right? Pagpasok ng market open, which is technically a few seconds from now, makikita nyo yan, magsa-spike up yan. Makikita nyo yung volume dito, magsa-spike up yan, right? And then while we're waiting for that 25 seconds, let me just open my own tracker. Siyempre, kailangan natin mag-journal, diba? So, literally trying to put that together. Okay, so we're 6 seconds out or 6 seconds in. Nakikita nyo dito, nagsa-spike yan. There you go. See that? So you'll see the volume come towards that candle in a few. So ngayon, pagka lumabas na yung candle na yan, magmamark lang tayo ng high and low natin dyan sa candle na yan. And then whatever breaks in the next 5 minutes after this candle, yung sumunod na candle nito, that's where we will wait for a retest and then dun tayo mag-e-entry. Hopefully, kasi nga ang bias ko talaga sa mga indices is bullish. Hopefully, I get a break to the upside. Pero kung hindi naman, it's just following the same rule that I had back-tested, which I'll show here. Ito yung back-testing results ko. 19%, including yung mga tinatrade ko na recently, sinasama ko na siya dito. 42.71. But this is my current portfolio. I am 1.85% away from goal. Ang goal natin ay 10,000. Siyempre, alam natin that trading is not a get-rich quick scheme. So, technically, ayan, nakikita nyo ba yan? This is US 30. Candle has really fluctuated. You see the volume indicator here is higher than usual. Same with S&P 500. Okay. So, technically, all I need to do is wait. Pag nakikita ko ng ganyan, I can probably mark my lines here to call that my top. Similar dito, to call that my top. Whichever candle breaks, yun ang gagawin natin. Yun ang titrade natin. So, maghihintay lang talaga tayo dito. So, tayo natin. I will be back once that's up. Gagawa muna tayo ng ating actual na trabaho. So, I also work while I wait for this. I also work as a financial manager for an institution in the US. So, let me just... Hindi ko na yun pwedeng pakita ngayon, syempre, kasi confidentiality. But I'll just be here in the background. I'll be back once I see a good break of candle already dito sa dalawang chart na to. Okay. Markahan ko lang to kasi mukhang maganda yung section dito. So, and plus, I have 2 minutes left, right? 2 minutes left. Alright, I'll be back in a minute and a half. So, kung merong mangyaring break.
3 hours later.
Okay. We're back. 5 minutes is over and this is technically our range. Ang ganda to. So, literally, mag-iintay lang talaga tayo dito. Hintay lang talaga tayo dito ng breakout to the upside or to the downside, and then we will wait for the retest and then we put our entry in. So right now this is medyo solid yung candle open ng 5-minute time frame na US 30, but then again, we're just waiting for something to break out off of that range. Okay, itong range na to, this is my top, this is my bottom on US 30, this is my top, this is my bottom on S&P 500. Okay. So I'm not saying again mga kanoypi, warning hindi ko to pinapakita sa inyo para gayahin nyo. Okay? Pinapakita ko to sa inyo para malaman nyo yung importansya ng pagbabacktest. Kasi kung ano yung ginagawa ko ngayon, ginawa ko siya over 96 trades with 42.71 win rate and still profiting 19% with a constant risk of 1%. Kita nyo yan? $10. That's $10. That's 1% per trade. Constantly. Okay? Now, on this trading journal, our 1% ng $10,000. So, our capital is 100,000 as you can see here sa taas or dito sa baba. Our capital is 100,000 pero ang drawdown, max drawdown is 10K. Right? So, 1% of 10K ang risk ko because if I risk 1% of the 100,000, if I experience my max drawdown, I'm out. Siyempre, hindi naman yun ang objective natin. Ang objective natin is to stay in the game, pass the challenge, and then from there, let's see what happens. Right? Nire-record ko pa rin siya dun sa backtesting sheet ko kasi I want to gather data. Data is your friend. It is super important that you put those together. Kung hindi kayo data-driven person, okay lang naman. Pero I'm telling you, it is very beneficial if you are, especially when you're talking about financial trading. So you want to talk about statistics at least 9 out of 10 times. Okay. You have a minute and a half left before this candle closes. Both in S&P and US 30 wala pang nangyayari. So, siguro I'll be back pag may nakita na akong progress dito. Maybe mamaya pa kung may mangyari man na breakout. Kung walang mag-breakout dyan until like 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. Central, hindi na ako magte-trade nun. That's part of the rule. Wala na.
1 million zillion jillion dillion cotillion times later.
Right, so we're back. And as you can see, we already have a break of our range here. Break and close of our range here sa US 30. And the candle immediately swooped up. So ang gagawin natin is now we're looking at it on a downside. Medyo counter trend to. Pero it is what the rule is. So, magsiset lang tayo na, ayun na nga, dapat pala minarket ko na. A market for the, yesterday ko. Hirap computing kasi nito agad-agad. So, just do 0.09 and then we will sell. So, dahil yan lang naman yung risk ko kahapon, we'll put the and it's even less than 1%, right? So we'll target 100 risk tolerance, and then we'll target a 1:2. Depende sa, let's look at the market structure. So obviously we're looking at this to break. That is going to be difficult to do. Hirapan pa, pero sige, that's what our rule says. Let's go for 200. 1:2. Okay, so that's what we do. So it lang tayo sa 5-minute chart, and then on S&P wala pa, hindi pa nag-break. It looks like it wants to break to the upside. Looks like it. Pero we still have about 2.5 minutes left before that happens. So meron na tayong trade sa US 30. Again, that's what our rule says, right? It doesn't matter however the price goes. The important thing is we follow our rule. And from our testing results naman, kita naman natin that we still gained over 3 months of testing it, we still gained 19%, which is totally big. No? So totoo lang. It's a bigger gain than my personal account, to be quite honest. So we'll just wait for that. Tingnan natin kung tong candle na to would like to close here above. If it does, mamarka na tayo dyan ng ating SL would be right down below that structure. Pero if it only breaks and flows above is the only time we can wait for a retest. Maganda yung forma ng S&P 500 kasi it's sitting at support. So if it ramages back up, that's good. Kaya yun sana yung bias ko. Pero then again, we're following a strict rule for a rule-based trading. So we'll just follow what that says, right? Tapos i-move lang natin yung stops natin. If in case, things go up, we will move stops just to lower down the risk. Bababaan lang natin yung risk natin if we see it. Let's say, for example, it breaks this structure, then we lower down our risk, or maybe put a stop above Entry price, yan lang talaga. Okay, so with 4 seconds left, it's not breaking the high. It's not breaking the high. Ngayon, candle is open. So, maghihintay na naman tayo ng 5 minutes dyan before we decide. So, I'll be back after about 4.5 minutes, and then let's see what happens. All right. Okay, we're back. Tingnan natin. S&P 500 seeing a rejection with 20 seconds left. 15 seconds left, 10 seconds left. If it closes, then we're going to do an entry here. Most probably baka mga 181 lang. So it closed above. So let's do 1.88 guy. So that size na yan. Bakit ang laki nito? 1.88 lang. Okay. Let me calculate ko mga kanoipi. This is the hardest part in here. So I'm risking little over or little below 2% dito sa trade na to. Which is really shit happens, you know. That's why it's difficult to get that happening. Pero tingnan natin, baka we risk 193.26, so this is about less than $400. If we win, we lose less than 2%. So 193.26 dapat I should get 186.52. Pwede na ba 186? Okay. So we leave it at that. We have US 30 shorts, and we have S&P 500 long because that's what the rules told us. So susundin lang natin kung ano nandun, and then let's wait kung ano mangyari. I'll see you pag malapit na akong mag stop loss or mag TP. Alright, I'll be back.
3 hours later.
Alright, I'm back. Tingnan natin anong update sa trade natin. US 30, I'm down $9. S&P 500, I'm up 120. Medyo malayo-layo pa to kasi ang risk natin to even get a 1:1 risk to reward ratio is at $193. Dito naman ay $100.28. So, worst case scenario, I lose 3% of my total drawdown capital. So, drawdown kasi yung basihan natin dito when we're calculating risk. Okay? So, again, sa testing stages natin, we were at max losing streak na 8. So, technically speaking, my risk appetite is I'm fine with losing 8 consecutive and still be able to come up at 19%. More or less, give or take, no? So, ayun. So, eto pa lang siya right now. I mean, even if it's a scalping strategy, syempre, it's a 5-minute time frame. Medyo maghihintay pa rin talaga tayo dyan kasi we're technically looking at about 107 pips on US 30 and about 20 pips lang to take profit and 10 pips to stop loss on S&P 500. So, tingnan natin. I can close this trade right now and still take home or still win $100. I'll still be up. Pero hindi kasi yun yung rule natin eh. And when greed strikes you at your worst, ang ending niyan, magpi-premature close kayo. So you really just have to be disciplined enough to wait and follow your rules. Kasi two of the most important things of a trader's job is to manage your risk and follow your rules. So ngayon, yun ang ginagawa natin dito. We managed our risk, although medyo nagkamali tayo dito sa S&P 500 kasi we risk a little less than 2%. Kaya naman ng risk appetite natin yun. It's a lesson learned from me. No? Okay? So, yun lang muna. Tingnan natin ulit. Balikan natin yan after a few moments. Okay? Alright. And we're back to update. So, nagsimula tayo technically 8:30 a.m. Central and it's 10:12 a.m. Central. And makikita natin dito na nag-SL yung US 30 sell natin. So that didn't work out. Yung S&P 500 naman natin is up 163.75. So, ang gagawin natin dito is trade management na lang. So, kung makikita nyo tong entry point natin, it became a support zone on the 5-minute chart. So, if originally we're risking 193.26, i-move lang natin to lower down our risk right around here to just $66. So, ginagawa ko to most times to limit my risk. Tapos, ang gagawin natin ngayon is i-record ngayon natin yung trade na nangyari sa US 30. Right? So, dito tayo. Today is October 22, US 30, and we have the loss, or ang loss natin dito ay full risk $100.85. So $100.85, 10,000 lang kasi, so that's a risk 1.1, and then 85. Our risk to reward plotted here was 2. And then I like to see my price entries. So pwede ko siyang balikan. So this is 42,752.50. And then this is the closing price is at 42,864.55. 42,864.55. Lot size here is 0.09, and that's it. So we have 3 losses. Our win rate with this is 40%. We have a total gain of $83, which is just 0.84%. Tapos, gusto ko kasing ituloy-tuloy itong tracking from the very beginning that I started. So, lalagay ko lang din siya dito for my own peace of mind. Ito lang to kasi refresh ko yung pivot table ko after and I traded on the New York session, which was a loss. I sold. Just replace them to lahat, and then I'll just save. Alright, suntayin lang natin yan, and then I will refresh. So, ito, pag na-refresh ko to, and lalabas na, tapos gusto ko lang i-highlight syempre kung ano yung less than 0 para malaman ko yung olats. Okay, so currently this week up pa rin naman siya, so that's pretty okay. Tapos hintayin ko na lang siguro ito kung ano maging outcome nitong S&P 500. So again, time check, it's been 1 hour and 45 minutes me into this trade, and then we'll just see what the outcome is. Currently it's up 182. I have lowered my risk down um, significantly. Actually, with that, siguro pwede natin, kasi wala naman structure talaga dito. I can significantly lower down my profit, my TP here. Ayan. So, dyan lang. Sa area na yan, if it retests this high, then that's good. If it doesn't, then that's fine. Actually, kung makikita natin dito, no, meron ng structure na nag-form dito eh. So, I wanna wait for this candle to close, which is like 2 minutes exactly here. So, gusto ko lang makita kung saan siya pupunta. Ang point ko dito is, if this candle closes here, above this area, that's good. Actually, kahit nga hindi dyan eh. Dito lang, if it just closes above this, that gives me a little bit more confidence. Pwede ko na sigurong i-adjust yung SL ko dito sa baba. Just to be a little bit more securing sa profits natin. No? Hopefully, if it goes towards our direction, that's nice. Pero pagka hindi, our risk is small. It's down to 66. So technically, for the entire 2 trades of the New York session, I will lose 1.6% of my capital. So imagine that. It's very low compared to the $100,000. No? So again, itong journal documentation na ginagawa natin by video na pinopost natin sa YouTube is really to educate and show the reality. No BS, no Lamborghini shit dito. Na talagang if you backtest, you test your strategy, pag dildilan nyo ng dugot pawis nyo yung pagtetest nyo ng strategy nyo, is it gives you confidence, it gives you affirmation kung ano ang pwedeng mangyari pag nag-live kayo, right? Again, sa testing stages ko, I was at 8 consecutive losing streak. Okay, 8 consecutive losing streak. So, gusto ko lang silipin to, syempre, sa 4-hour chart. Kung anong itsura niya ng candle. So, technically, it's in a way testing the resistance. Pero, yun natin alam. It's just really how the market works. We can't predict. We can't tell what's going to happen. It's really just, it does what it wants to do. So, kaya sobrang importante that you manage your risk, follow your rules, and just relax. Kaya nga tayo nagte-trade eh, diba? Hindi para ma-stress. So, even if this is a scalping strategy approach, and mind you, I bought a live account. Diba? A live account, and I'm following their rules. I'm managing my risk, I'm following their rules, and this is day 2 pa lang naman, so let's see what happens. So, balikan natin to in just a short while. I am fairly close to hoping to be at take profit. 5 pips na lang siya talaga. But we have to follow the rules. We're playing by the rule book that we did, so we'll have to wait for that to materialize. Okay? So, balikan natin yan, mga Kanoypi. Alright, and we're back to update. So, nagsimula tayo technically 8:30 a.m. Central, and it's 10:12 a.m. Central. And makikita natin dito na SL yung US 30 sell natin. So, that didn't work out. Yung S&P 500 naman natin is up 163.75. So, ang gagawin natin dito is trade management na lang. So, kung makikita nyo to, entry point natin, it became a support zone on the 5-minute chart. So, if originally we're risking 193.26, i-move lang natin to lower down our risk right around here to just $66. So, ginagawa ko to most times to limit my risk. Tapos, ang gagawin natin ngayon is i-record ngayon natin yung trade na nangyari sa US 30. Right? So, dito tayo. Today is October 22, US 30, and we have the loss, or ang loss natin dito ay full risk $100.85. So $100.85, 10,000 lang kasi, so that's a risk 1.1, and then 85. Our risk to reward plotted here was 2. And then I like to see my price entries. So pwede ko siyang balikan. So this is 42,752.50. And then this is the closing price is at 42,864.55. 42,864.55. Lot size here is 0.09, and that's it. So we have 3 losses. Our win rate with this is 40%. We have a total gain of $83, which is just 0.84%. Tapos, gusto ko kasing ituloy-tuloy itong tracking from the very beginning that I started. So, lalagay ko lang din siya dito for my own peace of mind. Ito lang to kasi refresh ko yung pivot table ko after, and I traded on the near session. This was a loss, sold, so nag-replace lang ito lahat, and then I'll just save. Alright, sintayin lang natin yan, and then I will refresh. So, ito, pag na-refresh ko to, and lalabas na. Tapos, gusto ko lang i-highlight syempre kung ano yung less than 0 para malaman ko yung olats. Okay, so, currently, this week, up pa rin naman siya. So, that's pretty okay. Tapos, hintayin ko na lang siguro ito kung ano maging outcome nitong S&P 500. So, again, time check, it's been 1 hour and 45 minutes me into this trade, and then we'll just see what the outcome is. Currently it's up 182. I have lowered my risk down significantly. Actually, with that siguro pwede natin, kasi wala naman structure talaga dito, I can significantly lower down my profit, my TP here. Ayan. So, dyan lang. Sa area na yan. If it retests this high, then that's good. If it doesn't, then that's fine. Actually, kung makikita natin dito, meron ng structure na nag-form dito eh. So, I wanna wait for this candle to close, which is like 2 minutes exactly here. So, gusto ko lang makita kung saan siya pupunta. Ang point ko dito is, if this candle closes here, above this area, that's good. Actually, kahit nga hindi dyan dito lang, it just closes above this. That gives me a little bit more confidence. Pwede ko na sigurong i-adjust yung SL ko dito sa baba just to be a little bit more securing sa profits natin, no? Hopefully if it goes towards our direction, that's nice, pero pagka hindi, our risk is small. It's down to 66, so technically for the entire 2 trades of the New York session, I will lose 1.6% of my capital. So imagine that it's very low compared to the $100,000. So again, itong journal documentation na ginagawa natin by video na pinopost natin sa YouTube is really to educate and show the reality. No BS, no Lamborghini shit dito. Na talagang if you backtest, you test your strategy, pag dildilan nyo ng dugot pawis nyo yung pagtetest nyo ng strategy nyo, is it gives you confidence, it gives you affirmation kung ano ang pwedeng mangyari pag nag-live kayo, right? Again, sa testing stages ko, I was at 8 consecutive losing streak. Okay, 8 consecutive losing streak. So ko lang silipin to, syempre sa 4-hour chart kung anong itsura niya ng candle. So technically, it's in a way testing the resistance, pero hindi natin alam. It's just really how the market works. We can't predict, we can't tell what's going to happen. It's really just, it does what it wants to do. So, kaya sobrang importante that you manage your risk, follow your rules, and just relax. Kaya nga tayo nagte-trade, diba? Hindi para ma-stress. So, even if this is a scalping strategy approach, and mind you, I bought a live account, diba? A live account, and I'm following their rules. I'm managing my risk, I'm following their rules, and this is day 2 pa lang naman, so let's see what happens. Balikan natin to in just a short while. I am fairly close to hoping to be at take profit. 5 pips na lang siya talaga. But we have to follow the rules. We're playing by the rule book that we did, so we'll have to wait for that to materialize. Okay? So, balikan natin yan, mga Kanoypi.
1 million, zillion, jillion, dillion, cotillion times later.
Alright, mga Kanoypi, and we're back. Hopefully, our last leg. The time is 11:56 a.m. And we entered this trade. Saan nga ba? Ito yata yung break here. So, after about 3 hours, nandito na tayo. Right? We are so close to our take profit target. We're up to 55. So, ang gagawin ko lang dito is pababayaan ko lang siya dyan. If the price wants to hit TP, then good. If it doesn't want to hit TP, then we will remove our risk for today's video. Okay, lalagay natin yan stop loss dito. And it's just really me trying to manage the trades, right? Just trying to manage the trade. So, if it doesn't hit TP, then I'm going to still earn 51.70. If it hits TP, then that's good. I get the full 98. So, question, bakit hindi ko na lang i-close yung trade? Malapit naman na sa TP. Kasi it's not part of what I backtested with. It's not part of the rules. So, ngayon, in retrospect, emotionally speaking, or in terms of trading psychology, ito yung mga bagay na iingatan nyo and mga bagay na nalalaman natin kung tayo ay nagbabacktest. Okay? So, Importante yun, mga kanoypi. Napaka-importante na malaman mo yung tolerance mo sa mga ganitong bagay to factor in your greed, your fear. Ako, I'm lucky enough to be able to sustain that. No, hindi na ako apektado sa mga ganun. If the system doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it works, it works. Okay? Siguro, malaking parte na rin nung kadahilanan kung bakit nagagawa ko yun is because trading is not my primary source of income. It is an additional income but not my primary source of income. So yung mga tao dyan na nagsisimula pa lang, wag nyo na munang intindihin yung goal to make trading your primary source of income. Kasi, pag ginawa niya yun, mape-pressure kayo yung mga ganitong bagay. Close nyo na yan. Sabihin nyo, sayang. Okay? It's not the right thing to do. It doesn't help you. It just adds to your pressure. At hindi siya kaaya-aya for lack of a better term. No? Kasi kaya nga tayo nagte-trade, di ba? Para hindi tayo ma-stress. Tapos, kukuha tayo ng ikaka-stress natin, di ba? Hindi naman tama yata yun. Okay. So, merong isa yun. So, natapos na yung candle. Kung makikita nyo dito, the candle closed above this line. At least this zone. Markahan natin para medyo mas solid. Ginagawa natin yun dahil gusto natin malaman it adds up to your confidence, so to speak. It adds up to your confidence. Ngayon, kung titingnan natin to, sobrang lapit na niya sa take profit. This is probably the first time I will ever experience a 1.8 pip difficulty into getting my take profit. No? Ganun talaga, it happens. So ngayon, kung sa inyo mangyari to, ang tanong, diba? Kung sa inyo mangyari to, i-close nyo ba or will you just let it fly? Right? Ako, ang technique ko dito talaga is I just don't look at it. I wanna do other things other than just that. That's why I have work. So, apparently, at this time of the day, itong panggabi, I also work. Right? So, ngayon, while that's happening, I've already set up my charts. I've already set up my positions. All I needed to do is to let the system play its own game, right? Yung mga panakanakang, bawa, yung mga ganito, I managed my trade. Nakita ko, price broke resistance, created a support down here. Adjust ko na yung SL ko so I don't lose money anymore. And I keep my take profit where it is. By the way, the reason why my take profit is right above there is because of this resistance point. So, yan lang talaga yun. Pag tinignan ko kasi siya sa 4-hour chart, may kaguluhan. Although, sige, tingnan natin dito sa trading view. Sa trading view kasi ito yung tsura niya. So, technically speaking, if you look at the price action, it's really still an uptrend. Right? Pag tinignan natin siya sa daily chart, we see a pretty good rejection from down below here. Right? It's not something that could be ignored. And then, in essence, parang may nakikita tayo kasi talagang resistance zone dito eh. Just because of the wicks. These are definitely lower time frame. Pero tingnan natin siya, balikan natin dito. Ito, sure ako less than 1/5 na lang to before it gets to its TP. No? So, okay, hintayin lang natin. If it reaches that, then good. Then let's just wait. Alright, we're back. It's 12:05 p.m. Central Time. And we are still about Ilan to? 1.2 pips away from target. Usually at this time, lunchtime na kasi yan technically sa ibang traders sa Central United US or United States. Medyo babagal yan. I'm talking about smart money at mga institutional traders. It really is kind of slow, at least in my experience. Yung iba maybe taking profits, pero nakikita natin dito, if we look at the 5-minute time frame, it was testing this price so small. Maybe I literally snapped it at the end. Sobrang dulo na siguro to. Kasi this one's also a rejection candle going to the downside. But, I don't know. Makikita na lang natin if it does work or it doesn't. Ito na yung pinaka close 1.2 pip. Tingnan nga natin. Wala. Ay, sa bahay. How close am I to victory? At yung dulo. Oh my goodness. 0.7 pips. Less than 1 pip. Diba? Nangyayari talaga yan, mga kanoypi. Nangyayari talaga. So, it's not something that we can control. Pero what we can control is our mindset. Right? Let's control our mindset. Anyways, I'll be back. Tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari dito. Kung babagsak ba siya, break these lows and have me get the $51, or will it hit my profit target at 298.73? I'll be back. Alright, so we're back mga kanoypi. Let's see. After 5 minutes of waiting for this candle to close, eto magandang senyales to. Okay, ituturo ko sa inyo mga kanoypi kung ano sinasabi ko. Etong weak rejection na ito, magandang senyales yan. Bakit? Kasi we're looking at this box right here. Let's consider this as a zone. Okay? Itong rejection na to basically tells us that there are minor buyers sitting here. I don't know, baka mamaya they're looking at it as a fair value gap, pero this box looks to me as a support area. Okay, so magandang senyales yan. That means it's showing some buying capacity still, pero nakikita natin yung candle rejects the top side pretty good. Ayan na, kita mo, it's still on there, pero I mean, not that I'm very confident na magtitipi to, no? Pero again, wala naman tayong matatalo dito. It's not like we're gonna lose any amount. We're going to be down for the day. Oo. Kasi we lost $100 earlier, and if we win this, we win 50. So, pero think about it, no? Kung greedy ka, sasabihin mo, sayang, close ko na to para hindi ako talo overall. Pero, if you're more of a person that matters is yung following of your system and your rules that you back-tested or you tested, it is going to be phenomenal. Sinasabi ko na, magiging madali yung trading life ninyo. Alam ko, and when I say madali, it doesn't really mean na wala kayong pagdadaan ng mga pagsubok. Tandaan nyo, sa trading, ang kalaban nyo talaga dito yung sarili nyo. So, figure out a way how to combat yourself. And I kid you not, you will be successful in your trading career. Right? So, ngayon, we have about a minute and a half left before this candle closes. Aabangan natin kung saan mag-close tong candle na to para makita natin kung pwede pa nating i-manage yung trade at mag-set pa tayo ng tighter stop loss to gain further more profits into this trade mo. Abangan natin yan. We have about a minute left. Kita nyo naman dito sa oras dito sa baba kung anong kahihinatnan. If in case that the candle closes above this line, then I might move my stops right below here. So that should give us a little bit more of profits. Tapos, hintayin na lang natin kung ano mangyayari. If it hits my stop, kasi medyo magiging tight na to eh. Itong agwat nitong dalawa. Masyado ng tight yan. So, titingnan na lang natin. Wala naman tayo technically magiging loss if it happens, right? So, try natin. We have 10 seconds left. We're still seeing a doji candle here. So, medyo it's still a good sign para sa atin. Alright. So, let's see. Candle rejection. Maganda talaga to eh. So, this means this is a good support area. Okay. So, gagawin natin, because it's a good support area shown by this price action and this rejection, pwede na natin i-move to further into profits. Lagay lang natin siya just beneath here. Ayan. So dito, matic, wala na tayong talo. Kita na tayo ng $45, right? So, iintayin na lang natin yan kung ano magiging resulta. And alam ko, 5-minute chart lang to, pero for some reason, ang bagal niyang umakyat or bumaba, whichever direction the price wants to go. May kabagalan, which that's trading one-on-one for you mga ka-MyP. Alright? Okay, I'll be back for the last round of updates dito sa trade na to. Alright, so we are back at eto na nga, tumama na nga sa hindi inaasahang TP. Joke lang. So ayun na, we were only expecting 298 but then it went up and we got 299.11. So it was a pretty good day overall, although alam kong mali ito dahil nagkamali ako ng lot size entry dyan. Medyo very bad siya. Pero at least it kind of worked to our favor. So ngayon, that's next is syempre to journal our trade. And this is obviously SP 500. And our risk here was I think 193.83. Medyo mataas. We're risking 2%. And we got 299.11. Our lot size is 1.8. 830.40. 846.31. No, this is a buy. Hindi ko na-originate yung tamang lot size. Alright, so it is 1.88. We are now up 3.83%. It's still, and that's 3.83% of the goal to goal. Malayo-layo pa tayo sa $10,000, but we have 3 wins, 3 losses at 50%, 6 trades overall. May isang pagkakamali, which is, yung entry kanina sa UK that lost us $60. So, that's the entirety of our trade. Ngayon, just to make sure na the point of having to do this comes across clearly sa inyong lahat, no? Back test, forward test your approach in the market. Okay? It will help you in so many ways you don't even know is there to help. Okay? So please make sure na nagawin nyo yun. And then kung sa palagay nyo nakatulong naman tong video na to sa trading journey nyo, please drop a like naman sa video and subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Comment down below kung meron kayong mga questions or anything that you want to request a video for, and I will surely do that for you. Okay? So, yun lang muna mga Kanoypi. Maraming salamat sa panonood at pagsama dito. We started that trade at 8:30 a.m. Central. We technically finished at 12:33 p.m. Central. So, not bad for this type of setup. Again, our tolerance to consecutive losses is 8 based on our tests. So we have yet to encounter that 8. Malalaman natin, and I'll see you guys on the next video.